Okay, and when we finish, I have uploaded 2 questions in your My Guru portal. I hope everybody dah cuba buat, and later we will discuss the questions and I will share with you the solutions. So basically, we'll finish employment income and also some of the, because I've updated also the notes for chargeable income. Kita akan tengok yang tu juga later. And for next week, kita akan buat investment income lah, so new topic. I plan for a quiz actually for this week, tapi saya tak sempat nak buat soalan. So maybe early next week lah. Quiz will be on your My Guru. And as I mentioned before, for this starting this week, until habis lah, I will upload the link to our video recordings in your My Guru portal. So I will minimize the use of Google Classroom lah, because My Guru portal semua orang boleh access. Sebab I tengok dekat Google Classroom tu ada juga yang belum sign in. Nak kena double check pula. So all the recordings will be in our My Guru, except that the first 2 weeks tu dah letak dekat Google Classroom dan saya tak ada update dekat sini lah. Alright, so let's continue. Alright, so last week we have gone through employment income, and so these are basically the types of employment income that we have. So we have done monetary benefits, 13(1)(a), benefits in kind, 13(1)(b), and also 13(1)(c), value of unfurnished accommodation. Okay, and for today we will continue with section 13(1)(d) and also 13(1)(e), and kita akan buat soalan yang ada comprehensive lah, all the different types of employment income. Alright, so for 13(1)(d) and E, dia tak banyak macam A, B and C. So sikit je kita ada untuk 13(1)(c) ni. 13(1)(c) pula, 13(1)(d) ni. Alright, so we have gone through all these. Alright, so for the second part, we have section 13(1)(d). So this is actually a contribution made by employer to the unapproved pension or provident fund, scheme or society. So in this case, kita ada, if you're familiar with KWSP or EPF, itu ialah approved pension or provident fund. So whatever money withdrawn from EPF tu, it is actually not taxable. Tapi kalau dia ada joint provident fund yang categorized as unapproved, so whatever unapproved portion yang dia dapat tu will be assessed in the year of withdrawal. And it is restricted to the employer's contribution only, because if you look at EPF, dia ada employer's contribution and also employee's contribution. Alright, so the part that is taxable is the employer's contribution only. The employee tu because itu macam duit kita sendiri yang you contribute yourself, you save your own money, so that will not be taxed. But the employer's contribution that will be taxed. So this is the example, meaning contributes to an unapproved retirement fund. So your keyword here is unapproved. Kalau approved macam EPF, like I said before, tak ada, you will not be taxed. Okay. Unapproved retirement fund since year 2000, on 14 February 2019, he leaves the employment and receives 69,000, comprising amount contributed by employer, 40,000, amount contributed by me, by himself, 15,000, and also interest earned 14,000, lari pula number ni. So the amount accessible under section 13(1)(d) would be 54,000, 40 plus 14. Amount contributed by me himself will not be taxed. Alright, so this is the example for section 13(1)(d), unapproved retirement fund. So only the employer's contribution portion that will be taxed. So the last one is section 13(1)(e). It is compensation for loss of employment. Normally you will get this, for example, if the person get terminated from an employment, so sometimes he or she will get salary in lieu of notice or compensation for breach of contract of service, and they can also include ex gratia or gratuity. So for this one, section 13(1)(e ni, it can include any amount in respect of a covenant entered into by the employee restricting his right after leaving the employment, or any agreement or arrangement having the like effect. Okay, so the scope will include macam tadi lah, payment for the release of the employee's obligation under contract of service, so retrenchment payment, gratuity under VSS, voluntary separation scheme. So if a person got terminated and dapat certain type of compensation, that compensation is also taxable. But there is an exemption here. The reason of termination is due to the ill health of the employee. So he or she will get full exemption. Just like pension, kalau pension yang voluntary retirement tu, the pension yang dapat tu will be taxable, but for the termination due to ill health, that will give the employee a full exemption. And an exemption of 10,000 is given for each completed year of service with the same company who ceased employment on or after 1st July 2008. So untuk yang bawah ni tak ada, not relevant anymore lah sebab ni dah lama 2008. So now exemptionnya is 10,000 for each completed year of service. Kita tak kira tahun, kita kira completed year. Alright, so this is the example. We have here Sylvia, right, started working as the manager of Clear Sendirian Berhad on 1st July 2008. So on 1st September 2019, due to the economic downturn, her employment was terminated and a compensation for loss of employment amounting to 108,000 was paid to her. So you have to compute the gross income under section 13(1)(e). Alright, so this is how you should tackle this question. Sebab kita akan tengok the date because our keyword here is satu, dia her employment was terminated and compensation for loss of employment. So baca ni, you can see this is actually under section 13(1)(e). So dia dah dapat 118,000. And now you have to compute the number of completed year in service. Maknanya dia kerja dekat tempat ni lama kan? Okay. So number of completed year, kita boleh katakan, alright, so she gets 118,000, exemption of 10,000 per completed year. So completed year is 11 years. So tolaklah 110,000 and the 8,000, only 8,000 will be taxable. Nampak tak? Walaupun dia dapat 118,000, not all this will be tax. So dah tolak dengan exemption, mana kita dapat 11 years. So 11 years ialah 11 completed year of service, which means from 1st July 2008 until 30th June 2019. Walaupun dia kerja sampai September, dia kena retire, kena retrench in September, okay, tapi dia start kerja Julai. So kita kena kira Julai sampai Jun lah untuk dapat satu completed year. So it will be July until June. So sampailah ke June 2019, kiranya lagi 2 bulan tu, Julai and August tak kira lah because tak cukup. Alright, so 11 completed years, July 2008 until June 2019. So dapatlah exemption of 110,000. So walaupun dia dapat 118,000, only 8,000 will be taxed. Okay, any question tak? Okay kan, very simple for this one. Alright, last one we have adjusted income. Alright, remember for this one, kalau tengok yang sebelum-sebelum ni what we have done so far, since last week saya cuma bagi instruction for you to compute gross income. Okay, later I will share with you the format macam mana kita mula our calculation. So we will always start with gross income. Gross ni maksudnya yang gross lah, yang kasar, pendapatan kasar, dia belum ditolak dengan apa-apa adjustment pun. So ini ialah gross income. Later kita akan jumpa another step which is adjusted income from employment. So last week I get questions yang mana saya kata okay, tunggu dulu. We have question about entertainment allowance and entertainment expenses, travelling allowance and travelling expenses. And sometimes it can be rent paid by employee. Remember kalau dia dapat rumah, ada juga cases di mana the employer give them a house, tapi part of the rent dia kena bayar sendiri. Okay, so employer bayar separuh, dia bayar separuh. But that portion is can be adjusted and deducted from the gross employment income. Alright, and fee to professional bodies, adalah banyak lagi legal fees, club membership, personal gain. These are all actually, kalau you tengok dekat sini, they are deductible from gross employment, because end of the day, the objective of calculating this is actually to get number of, ataupun kita kata the amount of income that is chargeable. Maksudnya kita nak kira dulu berapa banyak amount of income that can be taxed. So ini kita dapat satu figure from gross income ni, gross employment income. And then when we have adjustment, kita akan tolak lagi. Which means end of the day, your income from employment tu jumlah dia jadi makin sikit. So bila makin sikit, then the tax that will be paid pun also will be lower. So these are the adjustment. That is why I shared with you ada dua soalan. Dalam dua-dua soalan tu, you have to compute adjusted income. Right? 60-day rule ini saya dah discuss, I think masa kita buat resident status tu. So 60-day rule ni for a non-resident, if dia exercise employment in Malaysia less than 60 days, so the income exercise is exempted from tax. Right, so sometimes kita ada orang from overseas datang kerja dekat Malaysia for 1 month, 45 days, dia dapat pendapatan dari Malaysia bawa balik ke overseas. So that income is not taxable sebab less than 60 day. Sebab kita ada dalam paragraph 21 and 22, schedule 6 ni for non-resident ada 60 day rule. Okay, tapi kalau lebih daripada 60 days, then that person will be taxed. Okay, yang ni pun nanti you all boleh baca je. These are all the public rulings yang related to tax treatment of foreign nationals working in Malaysia. Okay. Alright. Let's move on to employment income exercise. I have uploaded the question in my guru. Saya tak tahu you all buat ke tak. Ada yang buat tak? Have you all tried? Kebaca dia soalan. We have two questions. Encik Faizul and Encik Idris. So kita tengok Encik Faizul dulu. Okay. Oh, before that, saya ada bagi soalan quiz for you all buat Encik Manyam hari tu kan? Pula nak discuss the solution for Encik Manyam. Kita tengok Encik Manyam dulu lah sekejap
Excuse me, madam.
Yep.
Do we need to submit the tutorial questions?
No. For this one, not yet.
Oh, okay.
For these two questions will be discussed during class, but later if I need you to submit, then I will let you know. But whenever I assign you tutorial question, I expect you to try so that we can discuss the question rather than you just copy the answer. You should try the question first. Alright, so where's my... I'm looking for the solution for Mr. Manyam. Where did I put it? Mana? Quiz. Share. Okay, alright. I go through with you. Let's look at Mr. Manyam first, before kita buat Encik Faizul ni. Alright, so last week I've given you a question about section 13(1)(c), whereby we have Mr. Manyam, okay, who is a technical manager in a manufacturing company operating in Klang and earned the following remuneration for the year ended 31st December 2017. Okay, you can check your answer and I will return your quiz later. So by now you should know lebih kurang lah what will be your marks later on. Alright, so he has salary, bonus, entertainment allowance and also travelling allowance. Alright, so during the year, the company paid 1,200 for medical treatment received by Manyam. In addition, he was provided with unfurnished accommodation and the rent paid by the employer was 19,200 for the year. Alright, so you have to calculate the accessible value of living accommodation for the basis year 2017 under each of the following circumstances. Alright, so you have 4 scenarios. A, the accommodation was provided for the whole year. B, the accommodation was provided only 6 months in the year. C, the accommodation was shared with another employee for the whole year. And D, the accommodation was too large for his needs and he was required to use it to advance the interests of the employer. It was agreed by the IRB that he was entitled to 1/3 rebate of the defined value. Alright, so this is how you should present your answer. I have to correct the answer. I got this question from MFPC module, jawapan dia pun salah. Because the figure given here, this is actually the remuneration for the year ended, which means this is already for a year. You don't have to multiply by 12 anymore. Alright, so ini untuk 1 tahun. So these figures are actually for 1 year. If the figures given for you, let's say salary for according to month or monthly salary, then you have to multiply by 12. You just refer to our previous examples. Alright, so in this case, salary is 72,000, bonus 2,000, entertainment allowance 3,000, travelling allowance 3,000. Alright, so kita kena cari dululah section 13(1)(a). Alright, so he gets 80,000 under section 13(1)(a). And for part A, we have the value of living accommodation if he gets the accommodation for a year. Alright, so the defined value is 19,200. Alright, in this case, the defined value ni, there is no mention about furniture. So don't worry, bila dia tak ada mention about the furniture, you don't have to deduct the furniture amount. So this is already the value for the unfurnished accommodation. Alright. So it can be a few scenarios. If you refer to our previous examples, whereby we have the value of furnished accommodation, and that is why when we calculate the defined value, we have to deduct the value of furniture. Alright, in this question, there is no value for furniture, and this is the defined value for unfurnished accommodation. So you just take 19,200. Alright, and you should have 30% of section 13(1)(a) income, which is 24,000. 30,000, 30% from 80,000, that will give you 24,000. We want the lower figure, which is 19,200. Alright, so that is for scenario A for full year. And scenario B, only for 6 months in the year. Alright, so for 6 months, still we get the defined value 19,200. 30% from 13(1)(a) would be 24,000. And the value is only, so the lower amount is 19,200. But remember, since the value or the accommodation is given only for 6 months, kita tak boleh ambil teruslah 19,200. 19,200 you kena darab pula dengan 6/12. Alright, remember kita bukan nak kira different value you terus bahagi dua tak. Ambil dulu, compare dengan 31A dulu. Then only you choose the lower figure ni baru kita buat apportionkan. Okay, so the lower figure is here is 19,200, but the value given is only for 6 months, so 6/12 times 19,200. So it will give you 9,600. Alright, so for C, shared with another employee for the whole year. Alright, so bila they share, dekat sini define value baru you boleh divide by 2. Sebab dia share, kita tak boleh ambil 19,200. You have to divide by 2 because the accommodation is shared. So the value would be 9,600. And 30% of section 31A sama juga macam atas ni, 24,000. So the lower amount is 9,600. Boleh Look at the difference between B and C. Ini dia dapat half year. Kita dapat dulu 1 tahun punya figure. Baru kita darab dengan 6 divided by 12. But when the accommodation is shared, you bahagi terus dekat sini. Okay. And last one is too large, required to use it to advance the interest of the employer, agree that IRB he was entitled to a 1/3 rebate of the defined value. Okay, ini dah IRB agree macam tu. So defined value is 19,200. Tolak dengan 1/3 rebate, so dia akan jadi 12,800. Compare with the 30% of section 31A income, which is 24,000. So the lower figure is 12,800. Any questions? So it's a bit messy sebab saya copy jawapan tapi bila check balik the answer is actually wrong. So I have to
Doktor.
Yep.
Okay. Saya nak tanya. Kalau gross income ni dia bukan section 13(1)A plus section 13(1)C ya. Maksudnya macam ni kan Prof minta betulkan cari C kan. Gross income tu bukan total sampai situ
Okay, now kita cuma nak cari ikut accommodation je, based on the question je. Ini this one is not gross income lagi. Soalan cuma minta value of living accommodation je. Kita cuma nak value under 13(1)C. But in order for you to do 13(1)C, kita perlukan 13(1)A.
So maksudnya kalau cari gross income betul lah tambah semua.
Kalau gross income kena tambah semualah.
Okay, thank you.
So here kita ada 80,000 kan. So kalau if you want the gross income dan 80, tambahlah dengan, for example, this one lower amount 19,200. Okay, so untuk yang ni saya cuma present jawapan not the gross income tapi the value of living accommodation sahaja, 13(1)C. Alright, any other question?
Kalau kita terus jawab soalan tu boleh ke? Maksudnya macam kan jawapan tadi tu kita bandingkan yang mana lagi
rendah.
Lagi rendah kan? Tapi macam kalau saya jawab, saya letak yang saya terus bandingkan dekat atas tau. Maksudnya yang terus ambil nilai dekat atas, lepas tu A, B, C, D tu saya terus ambil jawapan je untuk yang paling rendah.
Tapi jawapan betul tak?
Betul lah. Cuma betul.
Tak apa, nanti saya tengok balik. I haven't checked your quiz, but untuk soalan ni saya tak totalkan the gross income lah macam Wafi tanya tadi kan. So this is just the value of section 13(1)C. Okay. So ada different scenario So kita nak tengok the calculation lah, how you derive at the figure. Okay. If you have no question, then kita boleh tengok balik Cik Faizul tadi.
Prof.
Yep.
Tadi macam untuk yang 30% darab dengan section 13(1)A tu, kalau untuk yang 6 bulan tu, untuk yang bahagian tu kita tak perlu darab dengan contoh. Tu tak payah.
Tak perlu. Kita ambil one tahun lah. Kita ambil 1 year juga. Kita tak. Dia bila 6 bulan tu, bila sampai dekat lower figure tu baru kita darab 6 bahagi 12. Masa awal kita compare defined value dengan 31A tu, kita tak bahagi 12 lagi, kita tak ambil 6 bulan lagi, kita ambil full. Boleh? Alright. So ingat because for the kalau accommodation tu dia dapat seorang tapi untuk separuh tahun ke 3 bulan ke 4 bulan ke, the 131A kita ambil full, the defined value pun kita ambil full. Kita compare dulu, whichever lower baru kita darab berapa bulan tu. Tapi kalau dia berkongsi, nampak tak? Kalau part C tadi dia berkongsi kan, dia berkongsi the defined value tu kita terus bahagi 2 je. Sebab dia kongsi. So dia lain kalau tengok kalau yang kongsi dengan yang dia dapat tak cukup bulan tu, tak cukup setahun tu, the calculation is different. Berkongsi, you terus bahagi 2, the defined value divide by 2. Tapi kalau dia dapat tak cukup setahun, defined value kita tetap ambil defined value juga. Compare dulu dengan 31A. The lower figure baru kita darab 4 bulan ke 6 bulan ke 7 bulan ke. Okay. You can go back to the previous example dan kita ada buat a few example minggu lepas kan. So boleh tengok balik lah untuk 31C tu. Okay. Can we proceed? Ada soalan lain tak? Apa benda ni? Alright, so you don't have a question for last week's quiz too. Let's proceed with Encik Faizul. So we have here Encik, okay, untuk yang ni, look at the instruction. Ini bukan nak cari gross income dah. Ini nak cari adjusted income. Which is gross income dah tolak dengan adjustment, baru kita dapat adjusted income. Alright, for this one, contohnya, Encik Faizul was appointed as Marketing Director of Top Sendirian Berhad on 1st Jan 2019. He did not own any shares in the company. So in 2019, he received the following remunerations. Okay, salary and allowances per month. So jangan lupa kena darab 12 Salary 12,000, entertainment allowance 2,000, travelling allowance 1,000. A contractual bonus equivalent to 2 months' salary. Fully furnished bungalow for which the company paid a monthly rental of 5,000, which included 500 in respect of furniture and fittings. Alright, whenever you get this kind of question, you terus letak je, ini pergi kat section mana? A ke 31A, B, C, D or E. Alright, so kita nampak kat atas ni, of course lah A, all this cash kan. Okay, furnished bungalow. Okay, fully furnished ni duduk dekat B. Until we know this is B. And dia dapat rumah. Rumah pun akan ada tapi dia akan pergi ke 131C. Alright, and new car costing 160,000. Okay, this is 31B. A driver employed by the company was assigned to drive the car. Again, 31B juga. And the reimbursement of 600 per month, being monthly salary of a servant employed by Encik Faizul. Alright, reimbursement dia akan pergi dekat 31A because you dapat dalam bentuk cash. Free medical and dental benefit for Encik Faizul and his immediate family. Alright, medical and dental benefit. This is benefit in kind 31B. Alright, jangan nak letak bersepah because you have to put according to the sections. And also Encik Faizul incurred the following expenses. Alright, sebelum ni kita buat example, kita stop sampai sini je. Because you have to compute gross income. Pendapatan kasar dia. Now, you have the expenses. So whenever you have the expenses, kita tahu kita kena calculate adjusted income. Alright. So here, Encik Faizul incurred the following expenses: 30,000 for entertaining the company's suppliers and customers. Okay. 6,000 on petrol and toll charges for travelling between his house and office. So here you have to consider 6,000 ni, is it business use or personal use? And also 16,960 on travelling to meet company's client. So kita tahu 30,000 ni untuk business sebabnya entertain the company, supplier and customer. Untuk B ni 6,000 petrol and toll charges for travelling between house and office. Your travelling expenses between rumah dengan tempat kerja itu considered as personal expenses, not business expenses. Sendiri mau ingat lah. So this one is not considered as income. As allowable expenses. And then 16,960 on travelling to meet companies client. So kita tahu ini pun business jugalah, to meet companies client. So you have to compute Encik Faizul adjusted income for year assessment 2019. The solution tak ada sini. Don't have the solution here. Alright, so when you get the question, you should know, kita always start with section 13.1A. Sekejap, saya share the solution. Alright. So those of you yang dah cuba buat, boleh check your answer. Yang mana belum cuba buat, that is why I expect you to, when I assign you the question, boleh cuba buat dulu. Otherwise, bila kita go through the answer nanti, alamak ni ambil mana number ni, ni ambil mana number ni. So I don't want that to happen. Alright, so this is Encik Faizul. This is your computation for adjusted income for year assessment 2019. Alright, remember we start with section 13(1)(a). Okay, salary 144,000 sebab salary given is on a monthly basis. So darab 12. Entertainment allowance 2,000 times 12. Travelling allowance 1,000 times 12. Alright, bonus tadi dia bagi equivalent to 2 months salary. You kena kira sendirilah. Salary dia 12,000 per month. So bonus dia 2 bulan. So 12 times 2, 24,000. Alright, remember the reimbursement of the servant gaji ni, reimbursement will always go to section 13(1)(a). Sebab dia dapat reimbursement dalam bentuk cash. So reimbursement of 600 per month, equivalent to 7,200. So this is the figure for section 13(1)(a). Alright, any question for 13(1)(a)? Okay. Alright, so 13(1)(a) very clear. Tak ada apa, kita just ambil all the cash benefit je. And then let's move on to 13(1)(b). Alright, first of all, dia ada car benefit. So the car benefit, you're given the cost of the car, 160,000. So dia dah ada driver juga. So car, kita tahu kita akan kira car and also fuel. And dia ada driver. Alright, so new car costing 160,000. You have to look at the benefit in kind table. Alright, kereta untuk yang harga 160,000, the value is 7,000. The fuel is 1,800 and the driver is 7,200. So driver dekat sini dia tak bagi gaji how much is the salary, but again the other driver go back to your benefit in kind table. So a driver, a yearly value or benefit of a driver is 7,200. And tadi dia ada fully furnished bungalow kan. So fully furnished furniture for 1 year 3,360. And also do not forget the medical and dental. Medical and dental 13(1)(b), walaupun exempted, do not forget to write it here. I expect you to write whatever yang dia dapat, you kena tulis. Walaupun exempted. Alright, remember medical and dental, kita buat example hari tu kan, medical dia, dental dia and family is exempted. Termasuklah traditional medical benefit kan, kita buat untuk IDA hari tu. But you still have to write down the medical and dental benefit. Cuma letak dash or exam je. Okay, so that will give us 19,360 for 13(1)(b). Any questions for 13(1)(b)?
Ada. Okay, Doktor, saya nak tanya, kan ada kadang ada situation kalau dia tak mention driver, maksudnya tak payah letak driver kan?
Tak payah.
Oh, kalau macam
je macam ni kan, dia tak ada cakap minyak kan. Tapi dia bagi so kita masukkan dia fuel, car benefit and also fuel dia, minyak dia.
Oh, kalau minyak dia sekali.
Sekali.
Kalau driver je tak payah.
Driver tak payah. Driver kalau no mention about the driver, then tak payah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yang ni ada driver kan, so it is, walaupun dia tak bagi tahu gaji driver tu berapa ataupun dia bagi tahu gaji driver tu berapa, remember kita ada table kan, driver ke, servant ke, guard ke, semua akan ikut table tu regardless of the salary. Dalam notes ada saya mention hari tu regardless of the salary. The benefit untuk driver, servant, guard, kita ikut table, kita tak ikut berapa banyak salary yang dibayar. Okay. Alright, so that would be our section 13(1)(b), 19,360. Next one is section 13(1)(c). Okay, sekarang ni fully furnished bungalow dia ada harga furniture kan? Okay, 500. Monthly rental, 5,000. Macam example Maniam tadi, the defined value ataupun the rental tu is unfurnished. So kita tak payah tolak furniture dah. Here value dia bagi 5,000 ni termasuk dengan furniture. So this is what you have to do. Kita nak cari defined value. Kita ambil 4,500 sahaja. 5,000 minus 500 times 12. Times 12 lah sebab ini monthly rental So you jangan pula tengok bila kita buat banyak soalan you have a few scenarios lah, sebab ada figure yang terus bagi setahun, ada figure bagi setiap bulan. So you kena be careful with that figure. Alright, so we get 54,000 and 30% of section 13(1)A. 13(1)A is 211,200. 30% of that will give us 63,360. And we need the lower figure, which is 54,000. Lower figure. Dia tak kongsi dan dia dapat untuk 1 tahun. So there is no further adjustment needed. Okay. Kalau dia berkongsi ke, kalau dia dapat less than 1 year ke, kalau dia dapat hotel or hostel pula, then you have to tambah lah. Here tak ada apa, very simple. Dia dapat fully furnished bungalow for 1 year untuk dia seorang. Okay, so tak ada buat apportionment kat sini. 54,000. Alright, so that is the gross income. Ini yang kita buat up to last week. Okay, kita calculate gross income sahaja. But here in the question ada adjustment. Expenses, dia incur juga. Walaupun dia dapat allowance, dia masih lagi incur expenses. 30,000 for the entertainment expenses, 6,000 and also 16,960 untuk travelling. Okay. Untuk entertainment, dia dapat tadi 24,000, betul? Dia belanja 30,000. Tak boleh tolak 30. Kena tolak setakat apa yang dia dapat je. Boleh? Nampak tak? Entertainment allowance dia 24,000. Tapi dia incur 30,000, betul? You cannot tolak 30,000 dekat sini. Tolak restricted lah for entertainment expenses. Restricted to entertainment allowance. So dia dapat 24,000. You hanya tolak 24,000 dekat sini. Kalau entertainment allowance dia 30, then you can tolak 30 kat bawah ni. Okay? Restricted. Tapi katakanlah dia dapat entertainment allowance 20,000. Dia belanja, entertainment allowance dia 24,000. Tapi dia belanja 20,000 je. Can you tolak 24? Faham tak? Dia dapat 24,000 allowance, entertainment allowance. Entertainment expenses dia 20,000, less than 24,000. Can you tolak 24 here? Tak boleh. Kena tolak yang dia belanja je. 20,000. Tapi sekarang ni yang dia belanja tu lebih dari allowance dia, betul? Kan? Dia belanja 30, allowance dia 24 je. So you hanya boleh tolak up to 24. The maximum is the allowance yang dia dapat. Tapi kalau dia belanja 20, then tak apalah, fine, tolak 20 je lah. Walaupun dia dapat 24. Maksudnya yang kena tax is 4,000 kan? Dia dapat 24, dia belanja 20. Ada baki lagi 4,000 tu yang kena tax. Sekarang ni dia dapat 24. Dia belanja pun 24. So dia tak kena tax untuk entertainment allowance dia. That's the logic behind it. Because when dia dapat, you spend balik untuk company kan? So tak kena tax lah. Sekarang ni yang nak kena tax is whatever you dapat, you spend for yourself. Tak ada untuk business, dapat untuk personal. Macam kereta, driver dapat untuk sendiri kan? Rumah dapat untuk sendiri. Bukan untuk business. So, that is why kena bayar tax. But here, entertainment allowance 24,000. Entertainment expenses pun lebih dari 24,000. So, kita tolak restricted to 24,000. Okay. Alright. Travelling allowance. Travelling tadi nampak expenses dia. Petrol and toll charges daripada rumah pergi office. Ini bukan dikira sebagai business use. Ini ialah personal expenses. So, tak boleh. Hanya boleh tolak ini je. 16,960 on travelling. Okay, travelling ni lain sikit. Nampak? Travelling dia dapat 12,000 kan? Dia belanja 16,960. Boleh tolak semua. Sebab semua ni untuk bisnes. Walaupun dia dapat lagi sikit. Kan? Dia tak sama macam entertainment. Entertainment belanja lebih, tolak setakat dapat je. Travelling, tak apa. Dapat 12 tapi you travel banyak untuk business use, tolak je semua tu. Sebab itu adalah business use. Boleh That's the difference between entertainment and travelling. Travelling dia tak ada maksimum. Dia tak ada restriction untuk travelling expenses. Entertainment logiknya, dah bagi 24,000 kan, kau belanja apa banyak sangat sampai 30. Boleh tolak 24 je. But travelling, tak apa. Walaupun dapat sikit, but you use this for the business, untuk business use, then kita boleh tolak. So this is our adjustment. The adjusted income would be 243,600. Any question?
Doktor,
Yep.
saya nak tanya.
Ya.
Masa dulu, macam kan dekat section 13(1)A tu,
Okay.
dia ada
tu bila tu?
tahun lepas.
Okay.
Entertainment dengan travelling allowance tu, saya tolak expenses dia dekat section tu. Jadi salah lah.
Salah. Tak boleh. Adjustment kena pergi kat bawah. Nampak tak? You tak boleh tolak dapat 24, tolak kat atas. Dapat travelling no, wrong.
Okay.
Tolak dia mesti dekat bawah because ni Sebab untuk tax ni you really have to follow the format tau. Lepas ni saya akan tunjukkan the format tu. Kita akan start dengan gross income. Whatever deduction jangan tolak lagi. Dapatkan gross ni dulu. Lepas tu baru buat adjustment, baru dah nama dia adjusted income. Dia tak macam you buat accounting ke mathematics ke, tak ada. Nak tolak kat atas tak ada tolak kat bawah.
Thank you, Doktor.
Right, boleh? So remember, whenever you have adjustment, buat dekat bawah. Cari gross kat atas, sampai sini baru buat adjustment. So these are considered as adjustment. Dapat adjusted income.
Madam,
Yep.
but before this, we always used to deduct upper part lah. We never did like this.
Wrong.
Oh.
Patutlah tak dapat A.
Oops. Yeah, that's wrong. Tak boleh. You cannot adjust dekat atas. Adjust kat bawah macam ni. So those of you yang dah belajar, you have come across this example before kan? You ada allowance and ada expenses kan? This is how you should present your answer. Baru dapat A. Kau tolak kat atas, figure you salah nanti. Sebab bila you tolak dekat atas ni, your 31A salah tau. Your 31A salah, sini salah. Tapi normally dekat sini tak ada effect lah, because normally kita ambil the defined value tu sebagai lower figure. The 31A, 30% ni biasanya tinggi. Jarang lah this would be the lower value kan. But still your sini salah lah. And your sini pun salah lah nanti. Okay? Dah, puan henti dah?
Boleh. Nak tanya,
Yes.
saya confused dengan yang apa ni, ada travelling allowance yang exempted sampai 6,000 tu tak lain
Mana? Yang ni?
Yang travelling allowance yang kita belajar
Suan.
untuk semester lepas tu.
Ha?
Ya.
This one ke?
Yang kita belajar chapter lepas tu yang ada exempted 6,000 tu.
Oh.
6%.
Okay. Yang tu untuk business use je. Exemption tu.
Tapi
Kalau
yang
tak ada expenses. No. Itu kalau tak ada expenses.
oh, kalau tak ada expenses. Oh,
So allowance sekarang ni, alright untuk entertainment allowance ni dia lain sikit sebab dia entertainment allowance ni dengan travelling allowance ni sometimes you can offset dengan entertainment expenses and also travelling expenses. Tapi entertainment allowance ada exemption 6,000 kan? 6,000 tu if you go back to your notes dia hanya berkaitan dengan business use. Kalau dia tak ada dapat expenses ataupun dia tak incur expenses, dia tak ada macam ni lah. Now kita ada adjustment. Kalau tak ada adjustment macam ni, then you can tolak 6,000 tu. Sekarang ada adjustment, so tak adalah yang tu. Soalan mana tu, sekejap saya tengok. Ada kita buat yang tu yang ni ke? Kan? Alright. You boleh nampak my slide kan? Travelling allowance ni kan? Tu you nampak yang word tadi.
tak nampak.
Nampak word je?
Nampak blank je.
Nampak
pos.
je?
Blank. Tak nampak.
Sekejap. Okay Look at the travelling allowances. Full amount received at gross income from employment. Exempted up to 6,000 per year. Okay, soalan tadi dia ada travelling allowance, travelling expenses. Sebab tu kita tak tolak yang ni. Dia kalau dia tak incur travelling expenses ataupun dia tak boleh claim travelling expenses, dia sometimes macam ni Once you dapat allowance, whatever you claim as your expense, whatever you spend as the expenses, you dah tak boleh claim dah. Tapi beza dengan Cik Faizul tadi, dia incur expenses based on the business dan dia boleh claim lah deduction kalau macam ni, tapi nampak tak, ini provided that dia tak dapat company car baru boleh tolak 6,000. Faizul tadi tak boleh, Faizul tadi ada kereta kan? Betul tak? Faizal tadi dia dapat kereta. So dia tak dapat exemption ni. So untuk travelling allowance and entertainment allowance ni, you have to be extra careful sikit lah. Kena tengok betul-betul the case dia macam mana So yang exempted ni kalau dapat travelling allowance for official duty up to 6,000 per year. Ni kita boleh tolak 6,000. Tapi syarat dia macam ni lah. Dia tak dapat kereta lah. Dia guna kereta dia sendiri. Dia dapat travelling allowance. Dan kita boleh tolak untuk 6,000 per year. Tapi sekarang ni Faizul ni dia ada travelling allowance. Dia boleh pula company tu allow dia untuk tolak deduction ataupun expenses dia. Dan company tu bagi dia kereta. So dia tak boleh dapat 6,000 exemption ni. Boleh Siapa tanya tadi?
Terima kasih.
Alright. But remember the exemption ni hanya untuk official duty. Katakanlah dia dapat travelling allowance tapi dia belanja pergi holiday. Tak ada lah. Tak ada dapat 6,000 ni lah. Ayat dia dekat sini, the exemption tu hanya untuk official duties. Provided that dia tak ada kereta dan dia tak boleh claim untuk travelling expenses. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Ada soalan lagi tak untuk
Ada.
Ya.
Soalan doktor, yang 6,000 exemption untuk travelling allowance tu,
Yep.
Yang tu sama juga tolak dekat akhir gross income ke macam mana?
Tak. Exemption tolak ke atas.
Tolak kat atas pula. Okay.
Adjustment expenses tolak dekat bawah. Kalau exemption tolak terus dekat sini. Jangan, do not get confused Macam yang ni medical and dental, let's say exempted kan. Kita tolak dekat tempat dia. Katakanlah entertainment allowance, tolak exemption 6,000, tolak dekat atas ni. All the allowances tolak dekat atas ni. Tapi kalau ada expenses yang untuk dia buat adjustment tu, kita tolak dekat bawah. Okay, so if you look at your notes tu, ada saya letak the exemptions tu under adjusted income kan. Mestilah wholly and exclusively incurred in the production of the employment income. Any other question before we move on to Encik Idris? Banyak Encik kita nak buat soalan hari ni. Ada soalan lagi tak untuk Encik Faizul ni? It's a bit tricky because kalau you ada exemption, you akan tolak dekat atas. Tapi kalau expenses, nampak? Expenses kita tolak after gross income. So next would be Encik Idris. So now you can see my screen Encik Idris kan?
Nampak.
Okay. Alright, untuk Encik Idris ni, ini pun different juga. Kalau Encik Faizul tadi, dia ada satu employer sahaja and dia dapat benefit in kind section 131B and also, so tadi kita ada 131A, B and also C and also adjustment. Untuk Encik Idris ni, satu, dia ada dua employer. Dia kena buang kerja. Dia masuk kerja tempat lain pula and dia dapat all the benefits. And dia ada dia bayar nominal rent. This is the adjustment. Dia bayar sendiri rent dia RM100 tu. Dapat kereta. Ada subscription fees untuk professional membership. And you have to compute Encik Idris adjusted income. Okay, bukan gross income, adjusted income. So yang belum tengok soalan boleh baca soalan dulu Later I'll share with you the solutions. Saya upload balik dekat my guru lah nanti solution untuk Encik Faizal dan also Encik Idris ni. Alright, boleh faham soalan untuk Encik Idris ni? Oh, tengah baca lagi.
Prof ada present slide ke? Tak nampak.
Tak nampak? Oh, okay.
Oh, baru nampak.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sekejap. Salah encik. This one. So, now nampak Encik Idris Okay. Alright, can we look at the answer for Encik Idris? Kita tengah buat lagi. Boleh Can we go through the answer? Alright, so what we have here is Encik Idris. Alright, so those of you yang dah sempat buat or halfway ke or dah buat habis, then you can check your answer. Alright, so Encik Idris started his employment with Saga Sdn Bhd on 1st August 2016 with a salary of 4,000. He always has a different opinion with the owner and his employment was terminated on 31st May 2019. After several appeals and discussion, Idris was paid a compensation for loss of employment of 32,000 and a gratuity of 12,000 in December 2019. Alright, from this information, you have to take up information which section does the item belongs. So, on 1st July 2019, Idris joined Syarikat Warna, a company which specializes in selling automobile as a manager, drawing a monthly salary of 2,000. He was provided accommodation in Hotel Kashurina for a month where the hotel bill was paid by Syarikat Warna, which is 80 ringgit per day. So with effect from 1st August 2019, he was provided with a fully furnished living accommodation. The company has paid rental of 2,350 a month, which include 350 as the rental for the furniture. He was required to pay a nominal rent of 100 a month to the employer. Other income from employment was received as follows: entertainment allowance 200 monthly from 1st July. Gardener, who was paid 800 per month by the employer from 1st October. A company car was provided by the employer from 1st September. It was a Honda Accord more than 5 years old, which cost 60,000. One-third was related to office use. Idris pays the subscription of 316 per annum to MICPA for his membership. So MICPA is Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountants. So this is a professional subscription and professional membership. Okay, so you are required to compute Idris adjusted income for year assessment 2019. Alright, so how do you start? We have this kind of information. Remember, we are doing employment income and your calculation must be structured according to employer. Jangan campur. Do not go by, memang kita buat go by section, but go by section tu based on employer. So now dia kerja dengan dua tempat kan? Ada Saga dengan Warna. So we start with Saga Sdn Bhd. Right? So this is how you should calculate. Sebab kita nak adjusted income dia. So kita start dengan Saga Sdn Bhd. You can put the date because the date will make you your life easier to compute. Sebab kita tahu dia tadi dia dapat salary, dia ada gratuity, dia ada compensation for loss of employment. Sebab kita tahu bila dia ada gratuity dengan compensation for loss of employment, dia ada exemption according to completed year of service. So do not ask me, go back to your notes. Dalam notes tu memang ada, saya mention about the exemptions ni. Alright, so kita tengok the salary 4,000 untuk 2019 je walaupun dia kerja daripada 2016, you janganlah kira gaji dia sampai dari 2016. Alright, the adjusted income ni hanya untuk year assessment 2019. Alright, so from 2019 dia kerja sampai May. So January until May, which is 5 months. Salary 4,000 times 5, 20,000. Dia dapat gratuity 12,000. Okay, look at the question. The gratuity is 12,000. Dan remember, gratuity ada exemption of 1 year untuk setiap completed year of service. Sekarang ni dia complete year 2 tahun je lah. Okay, 2016 dia kerja mana tadi? August, kan? Dia berhenti Mei. So August 2016 sampai Julai 2017 sampai Julai 2018. 2019 tak sampai Julai. So tak cukup 3 tahun lah. Dia akan jadi 2 tahun sahaja. Alright, so 2 years time 1,000 dapat 2,000. 12 minus 2 tinggal 10,000. Alright, so B, C, D tak ada dengan syarikat Saga ni. Ada E je, compensation for loss of employment. Alright, 32,000 dia dapat. Tapi ada juga exemption 10,000 per completed year. Completed year dia 2 tahun. So 10,000 exemption for compensation for loss of employment times 2. Dapatlah 20,000. So 32 minus 20, 12,000. So from Saga ni income dia ialah 42,000. Any question so far? Jangan campur duit by employer. Bawa figure total ni letak dekat hujung, then you start again with the next company. Kalau ada 3 employer untuk tahun tu, sebab remember we are doing for 2019 2019 dia ada kerja lama ni. And then dia Julai tengah tahun dia dapat kerja baru. Dia menganggur lah 2 bulan kan. Sini Mei dia berhenti, Julai dia kerja baru. Okay? No question for Saga ni? Tak ada If you have question, you can write in our chat box juga. Tak ada Alright. Next one is syarikat warna. Okay, syarikat warna ni panjang. Dia kerja 1st July until 31st December. Alright, salary dia 2,000 times 6 months. So July until December ialah 6 months. Okay. 2 times 6, 12,000. Dia dapat entertainment allowance 200 untuk 6 bulan. 1,200. Because you have to be careful with the date nampak. Entertainment allowance dia dapat daripada Julai. Gardener dapat Oktober. Kereta dapat September. Date dia tak sama. Okay, so you have to be careful with the date. Alright, so entertainment allowance dia dapat daripada Julai. So 200 times 6, 1,200. Okay. And then dia dapat kereta juga. Kereta dia more than 5 years old. So mesti divide by 2. Costing 60,000 based on the benefit in kind table 2,400 divide by 2. Sambil saya explain the solution ni if you need to find the figure ni, always go back to your notes lah. The benefit in kind table ada dalam notes. 2004 divide by 2 sebab kereta more than 5 years, half je. Minyak tak half, minyak kena full. Dan dia hanya dapat kereta ni untuk 4 months. Okay, to get the date. Dia dapat kereta in September kan. 700. Gardener. Okay, gardener. Dia bayar gaji dapat RM800 by the employer. Dapat from Oktober. Tapi remember gardener, macam saya kata tadi gardener, servant, guard, regardless of the salary kita hanya akan refer kepada benefit in kind table. So untuk tukang kebun setahun berapa? Siapa ingat?
1,600.
3,600 setahun. Maknanya sebulan 300 That is why for gardener 300 sebab dia dapat hanya 3 bulan. Okay. Furniture. Rumah dia tadi mana? Fully furnished. Okay, fully furnished kita tahu 3360. Tapi tengoklah dia dapat bila je. Fully furnished furniture dia 3360 tapi you kena bahagi dengan 12 lah untuk dapat sebulan. Okay. Ataupun kalau tak nak buat macam ni, saya ambil bulanan darab dengan 5. Or you nak buat 3360 times 5 divide by 12 pun boleh sama je jawapan dia nanti. Alright. So this is gardener and this is furniture. And this is the total amount for section 13(1)B. 13(1)B okay? Okay. Alright. 131C.
Nak
Ya.
tanya. Yang kalau untuk car tu kan, kalau kita asingkan car dengan fuel boleh ke tak boleh?
Asing dengan, memang asing pun. Ni asing ni kereta.
Maksudnya letak car pas bawah car tu tulis fuel.
Oh, itu kalau dia dapat setahun tak apa buat macam tu. Sekarang ni dia dapat 4 bulan je sebab kita nak kena apportion balik. Kalau tak nanti you apportion car, apportion fuel boleh juga. Sama juga nanti dapat dia.
Oh boleh lah, terima kasih.
Yeah. So it's a matter, it's not only how you present your answer. Macam sekarang ni nampaklah car and fuel kan. And kalau dia ada proportionment macam ni, kita nak tengoklah the calculation ni. Macam yang example tadi, saya letak asing sebab dia figure untuk setahun tak ada proportion. So yang ni kita nak darab 4/12. So kalau you buat 2 car kat atas, fuel kat bawah, darab juga 4/12 pun boleh. Sama dengan gardener ni lah, kalau nak ambil the amount of 3,600 darab 3/12 pun sama juga dapat jawapan yang sama. So your final answer would be the same macam ni lah saya kata tadi kan. Ataupun you nak buat gardener ialah 3,600 300 nak buat darab dia dapat 3/12. Sama juga jawapan dia. So it's a matter of how you present your answer je lah. Final answer would be the same ataupun nak buat macam ni. Okay. Furniture pun sama. You can buat 3360 darab 5/12 pun boleh. Alright, so that would be section 31B. Let's look at section 31C. Satu, kita nak tengok the defined value dulu. Okay, the defined value, rumah dia tadi fully furnished, accommodation. Okay, monthly rental 2350, include the rental of furniture 350. So kita nak value of unfurnished. So 2350 kena minus dengan 350 sebulan, dapatlah 2,000. Tapi dia hanya dapat rumah tu for 6 months. So 2 times 6, 2,000 times 6, 12,000. Or 30% of 131A. Alright, so 131A dia 13,200. You jangan ambil 131A dua-dua tau. Ini yang bagi dia is syarikat warna ni. Not syarikat yang first tu. So 131A dia, sebab tu saya merahkan dekat sini 131A datang dari 131A, syarikat yang bagi dia accommodation tu. So 30% times 13,200, dia dapat 3,960. So whichever is lower. So kita ambil 3,960 lah, the lower 12,000. Dapat 3,960. Tapi dia dapat rumah ni untuk berapa bulan? Look at the date kat sini tricky sikit kalau you nak tengok. Dia dapat rumah bulan Ogos. Okay, dia duduk rumah tu 5 bulan je. Nampak tak? Rumah tu dia duduk berapa bulan? Tak ada siapa tanya ni, saya kena explain terus je. Dia duduk rumah tu pada Ogos Ogos, September, Oktober, November, Disember. 5 bulan je dia duduk rumah tu. Tapi kenapa dekat sini saya darab 6? Define value. Nampak tak? Define value saya darab 6. Tapi rumah kat sini saya darab 5. Bagi 6. 5 bulan.
Sebab dia ada tinggal dekat hotel.
Jadi tinggal okey betul. 5 bulan dia duduk dekat rumah, sebulan dia duduk dekat hotel. Tapi kenapa define value rumah ni saya tak darab 5, saya darab 6? Dia ada reason di sebalik tu sebab kalau macam example kita buat tadi tu, dia punya employment dia start daripada awal tahun Bila employment dia start daripada awal tahun, we have no problem kalau kita nak apportionkan dia. Sekarang ni employment dia start pada tengah tahun. Nampak? Employment dia start bulan 7 kan? So dia employment dengan company ni 6 bulan. Betul tak? Julai sampai Disember. Employment dia kerja dengan company ni 6 bulan. Julai sampai Disember, which is 6 months. Jadi untuk define value ni kalau you tengok, kita darab 6 bulan. 6 bulan employment dia. 6 bulan dia kerja dengan company tu. Bila sampai dekat sini nak apportionkan baru kita ambil 5 bulan. Faham tak? Hotel yes, sebab sekarang dia kerja kat tempat tu 6 bulan. 5 bulan duduk rumah, 1 bulan duduk hotel. Betul? So I think you all boleh faham lah kenapa dekat sini kita letak 5 bulan, dekat sini kita letak 1 bulan. Alright, so the total would be 6 months. Tapi untuk define value ni, define value rumah ni secara logiknya you akan fikir, oh kalau define value rumah, Dia duduk rumah tu 5 bulan, 2,000 darat 5 je lah. Betul tak? Kan sepatutnya by right dia duduk rumah tu 5 bulan untuk define value macam yang kita buat sebelum-sebelum ni. Darab 5 je lah. Tapi sekarang kenapa dekat sini saya darab 6. Untuk define value for your information, untuk calculation define value ni kita akan darab dengan berapa lama dia kerja dekat situ. Because if you compare tu soalan Faizul tadi, tengok Faizul tadi nampak tak? Faizul tadi define value dia, you all can see my Word document ni kan? Nampak Faizul tadi kan? Okay. Look at Faizul. Faizul tadi kita ambil 4,500 kita darab dengan 12. Sebab apa kita darab dengan 12? Sebab dia kerja dekat company tu dari 1st January. Dia kerja dekat company tu setahun. Bila dia kerja cukup setahun, the defined value kita boleh ambil setahun. Tapi yang ni sebab dia duduk kat rumah tu pun memang setahun Beza dengan Encik Idris ni. Employment dia, 6 bulan ni hanya untuk employment. Sebab tu kita kena darab 6 bulan. Sebab kita cuma nak cari define value tau. Define value ni mesti ikut tempoh dia kerja dekat situ, which is 6 months. Bukan ikut tempoh berapa bulan dia duduk dekat rumah tu. Tak. Define value akan ikut tempoh dia kerja dekat situ, which is 6 months So, kita dapat 3960, darab 5 bahagi 6 ni, dapat 33,100. And then hotel, dia ada hotel guys. So hotel 3%, walaupun hotel company tu bayar RM80 satu hari, kita tak tengok yang tu. Hotel kita ada our own computation which is 3% times 13,1A darab dengan 1 bahagi 6. Sebab dia duduk hanya 1 bulan. So 66. Totalkanlah 3300 dengan 66 dapat 3366. So total semua daripada syarikat yang first dia kerja tu untuk tahun ni 42,000 plus 13,200 plus 3,000 plus 3,366 dapatlah gross income 61,566. Any question tak sampai gross income ni sebelum saya pergi dekat adjusted income dia? Okay. Any question? Saya lagi suka if you ask question If not, tak tahu ni faham ke, terima je ke kan? Bagi soalan macam ni lagi kan salah pula lagi ke kan. Are you guys alright? Any other questions? Tak ada Alright. So, bila dah sampai gross income, remember kita ada adjustment sebab you have to compute adjusted income So, adjustment dia tadi satu, dia bayar nominal rent. Dia dapat rumah tapi dia kena bayar juga RM100 tiap bulan Dan dia bayar professional subscription So as I told you, MICPA Certified Public Accountants Membership. So ini adalah professional subscription. Jadi untuk dua ni dia kena buat adjustment. Membership fee 316, nominal rental 100 bulan untuk 5 bulan 500. So ini adjustment ni dia boleh dapat balik lah. Maksudnya dia tak kena tax Sebab membership fee dia bayar sendiri, nominal rental pun dia kena bayar sendiri guna duit dia. Bukan pendapatan dari employer. Sebab tu kita kena tolakkan So apa benda yang kita tolak dekat bawah ni is actually benda yang dia incur lah. Yang bukan diberi oleh employer So tolak 816 dapatlah adjusted income 60,750. You can go back to your notes. Saya tengok slide saya yang towards the end tadi tu yang ada I list down all the adjustment tu, adjusted income tu. Alright, so all the adjustment yang saya list dalam notes tu, itu semua kita akan tolak dekat bawah ni. So tadi kalau ada yang tanya tak boleh ke tolak ke atas, memang tak boleh The amount ataupun the item yang saya list dalam notes yang adjusted income ni, semua kena tolak selepas gross income. So we have here nominal rent. Sebab tu nominal rent duduk kat sini Macam tadi kita buat entertainment expenses, kita buat travelling expenses, tolak dekat sini bawah ni. And kalau if you look at the notes, ada fees to professional body. So this is professional body. Dia bayar membership fee, kita tolak dekat bawah ni juga. Okay. Sebab dia bayar sendiri. Kalau company bayar, tempat dia bukan dekat bawah ni. Kalau company tu bayar, dia akan kena tax lah. Sekarang dia bayar sendiri And then this dua-dua ni ialah untuk business purpose. Sebab tu kita boleh tolakkan income dia tu. Tapi kalau professional fee tu, company yang bayar, tempat dia dekat atas lah. Ataupun kalau dia bayar tapi company tu reimburse. Nampak tak? Dia banyak scenario So you really have to understand the concept of benefits given by employer ni. Sekarang ni membership fee untuk company tu, tapi dia bayar sendiri. Sebab tu kita boleh tolak. Kalau professional fees tapi company tu bayarkan tempat dia kat atas nanti. Ataupun dia bayar sendiri tapi company tu bagi reimbursement. Macam tadi kan servant tu kan, dia ada servant, company bagi reimbursement. Reimbursement duduk dekat 31A nanti tempat cash tu. Bukan B. Okay?
Nak tanya.
Yep. Siapa tu?
Pasal
Nazura.
macam tadi untuk yang Kak Lani Trace ni dia ada 2 accommodation kan. Maksudnya satu hotel, satu rumah. Lepas tu kita tak perlu macam rumah tu kita ambil lower dia, yang hotel kita ambil lower dia. So kita
Tak.
total kan
Rumah memang rumah je kita ambil lower. Hotel tak ada. Hotel kita tak compare dengan mana-mana. Check balik notes. Hotel tak ada. Yang 3% rumah je, rumah, banglo, flat apa semua yang kita ambil 30% ni kita compare. Tapi hotel tak ada compare. Hotel memang kita terus kira je. Check kita ada buat example siapa itu yang ada hotel tu kan. Cuba check balik example tu. Kita memang tak compare kalau hotel. Hotel terus ambil nombor dia je. Whatever that you get, that would be the value for the hotel.
Nak tanya boleh? Yang ada dekat soalan tu, yang ada untuk kereta tu, 1/3 was related to office use. Itu macam mana?
Untuk kereta? Okay. 1/3 was related to office use. Okay, dia memang kalau ikutkan the benefit hanya untuk business je lah. Untuk business use je lah. Kereta dia ni, dia dapat kereta berapa bulan tadi? Tak ada, untuk kereta tu kita kira macam ni je. Doesn't matter. Tu information tambahan je.
Maksudnya maklumat itu abaikan juga?
Kira je terus.
Okay, terima kasih.
Because once you get a car, it can be office and also personal use. Alright? Okay? Ada soalan lagi tak? So please you have to really go back to the notes and tengok. Macam saya kata tadi lah, professional subscription sekarang dia bayar sendiri sebab tu tempat dia dekat bawah. Kalau company yang bayarkan tempat dia dekat B ni, walaupun dia adalah benda yang sama. Okay, professional subscription ni. Ataupun dia ada gym membership yang company bayarkan, tempat dia dekat sini nanti. Sebab tak ada kena mengena dengan kerja kan. Because you must remember whatever benefit yang dia dapat ni yang kita boleh tolak sebagai adjustment ni hanyalah yang related to business. Yang personal punya semua akan kena tax dekat sini. Semua akan kena tax kat atas ni lah kalau guna untuk sendiri. Ini kira tak ada childcare subsidi lah, tak ada telefon bill lah, internet subscriptions lah Banyak information yang saya tak masukkan lah dalam ni. Kalau tak nanti it will be lagi banyak lah Sebab macam tadi ada medical and dental lah. Untuk soalan ni tak ada. So every time you nampak ada item yang memang belongs to section 31A sampailah E tu, you really have to be very careful. Item by item kena masukkan dalam ni walaupun dia exempted macam kita buat medical and dental tadi tu. I will share this answer in my guru nanti. So if you have no questions, saya nak buat satu lagi. I've shared this in my guru juga the chargeable income tu. Ini just to show you the formatting je. So that next week kita boleh start terus dengan investment income So ini pun kita spend quite long untuk deposit. Apa deposit tu? Kita spend quite long jugalah untuk employment income ni. Alright, so this is just to show you the format notes already dalam my buku juga This is to show you the format sebab tadi kita dah buat gross income dan kita buat adjusted income So in case you tak boleh nak follow why kita ada different types of income tu. Alright, so remember end of the day the objective of taxation ni is actually to compute chargeable income. Chargeable income ni kita akan multiply with the tax rate. Right, remember kalau untuk individual yang resident, kita ada jadual so kita panggil schedule tax rate tu. So the higher you earn, the more you earn, the higher you will be taxed. Ataupun kalau income tu tak masuk dalam kategori yang kena income tax tu, then you don't have to pay. So kita sebab tu kita perlukan kira chargeable income. Kita bukan be taxed based on our gross income. Tak, bukan pendapatan kasar. Pendapatan kasar dah tolak dengan adjusted, tolak dengan macam-macam, tolak dengan relief, nanti later on kita akan buat sampai kita dapat satu figure chargeable income which is sometimes can be very low lah because you dah tolak macam-macam kan. So the tax would be very small. So kita nak tunjuk dekat sini, I just want to show you how do we derive or arrive at chargeable income for both individuals and also company. It's a bit different. Untuk companies dia tak ada relief dia ada rebate je. Untuk individuals ada relief. So kita boleh tengoklah the difference between individuals and also companies So this is the structure lah of sales. Kecil sangat ni. Nampak Okay. So tax in Malaysia again based on a person's chargeable income. This is the last figure on our calculation. So this is how we compute the chargeable income. Number one is of course we have to ascertain the source of income received in the basis period for the particular year of assessment. So in our case kita baru tengok satu jenis income which is employment income. Alright, so kita ada banyak lagi. So kalau you go back to section 4 kecil tu kan, 4A business, B employment, and then ada C, D, E, F. Okay, so kita akan tengok different types of income tu. So setiap income tu kita kena compute the gross income. So apa kita dah buat setakat minggu ni ialah computation of employment income. Alright, so kita untuk employment income tadi kita dah ada gross income, kita dah kira adjusted income. So kalau ikutkan untuk employment ni setakat tu lah the employment income and in some cases kita akan compute sampailah statutory income and then we have aggregate income. Okay, aggregate income ni let's say you ada employment income, you ada rental income, rumah sewa you have nanti you ada dividend income. So semua income ni kita akan tambahkan, that will give you an aggregate income. Aggregate maksudnya you dah tambahlah with the different types of income akan dapat aggregate income. Bila dah tambah semua income ni barulah tolak relief, barulah dapat chargeable income So macam ni lah, so gross income outline by section 4 so tadi ada 4A business, employment, dividend, interest, rent, royalties, pension and etc. So gross income from each source, okay, kita akan tolak dengan expenses exclusively incurred to produce the gross income. And statutory income untuk individual tak ada lah sebab statutory income is adjusted income minus capital allowance. Capital allowance hanya untuk business So total income is the total amount of aggregate income. So inilah contoh dia So gross, adjusted, statutory, aggregate and total chargeable. This is for business. So kalau untuk business, this is the adjusted income lah. Profit before tax, kita akan kita akan buat masa kita buat business taxation nantilah So ni saya tak ada nak go into detail. This is just the format for you. Right, and then okay, this is the adjusted income. Untuk bisnes pun dia ada term dia pakai non-deductible ataupun non-allowable. Yang tak boleh ditolak lah, non-deductible or non-allowable tak dibenarkan untuk ditolak. Non-deductible expenses kena tambah balik. Okay, and then dapatlah business ada capital allowance. Okay. Ini untuk business. Let's say you have more than one business. So statutory income ni kena tambahlah business 1, business 2. Baru tolak dengan business brought forward ni. Ada pula dividend apa ni? Sampaikan dalam nombor-nombor dulu So this is just the format. Okay, so this is the income for business. ada prospecting expenses lah, pre-operating expenses lah, approved donations. Ni semua kita akan buat bila kita buat business income nanti. And sometimes it can be tricky. Contohnya satu individu tu dia ada employment income, dia ada business income juga. It can be that as well. Tak semestinya business kita letak business je. So this is the format sebenarnya, gross income, tambah apa dapat adjusted income, tambah tolak apa dapat statutory income, tambah tolak apa dapat aggregate income, so dapatlah total income. Okay, total income tu tolak lagi barulah dapat chargeable income. So contoh ada donation, ada ni semua nanti kita tengok later lah, just show you the format je untuk yang ni. Okay, so relief and rebate hanya for individual tax resident. Personal relief deduction against total income, tax rebate, treatment arrears dan sepanjang zakat, tak apalah ni. Tax rate, untuk tax rate pun you can go to lembaga hasil website untuk tengok the tax rate for individual and also for company. Right? Any question? So untuk hari ni, since kita dah discuss 2 employment income questions plus dengan yang quiz last week tu, I don't think I have any more questions to discuss with you, but later kalau ada soalan yang saya rasa sesuai untuk kita discuss especially about employment income ni, then saya akan share lah. But for information, employment income ni biasanya soalan dia stand alone macam ni. Kita tak campur dengan benda lain. Employment income satu soalan. Macam ni lah. So employment income ni you calculate sampai habis lah, biasanya sampai adjusted income. Okay, sebab nanti especially those of you yang dah belajar, yang belum belajar, don't worry. Since we have different types of income ni, some income kita combine, some tak. Contoh macam employment income ni jarang kita combine dengan benda lain. So employment income akan duduk stand alone. Tapi untuk yang kita nak buat next week, the investment income tu, the non-business income tu, itu akan kita combine dengan, biasanya dengan business lah. Ataupun dengan employment ni sikit lah. Ada juga employment tapi the detail of the employment tu biasanya satu soalan je. Kalau nak masuk soalan yang investment income tu, biasanya employment income dapat salary macam tu je. Tak adalah complicated macam ni lah. So satu soalan untuk employment income and the next tu boleh jadi combination lah. So I think I have uploaded notes untuk next week kan. Saya lupa lah. Dah ada notes belum? Belum Rasa macam dah.
Belum lagi, madam.
Belum lagi Okay. Belum lagi, tak apa, nanti saya uploadkan. And then also the solution lah untuk yang today punya kalau you all nak use for your reference. So I think I will prepare maybe a short quiz for you for next week on resident status, multiple choice question je. Nanti bila once uploaded, I will let you know lah. Saya beritahu dekat WhatsApp group nanti. Soalan pun tak ada lagi. So yang Maniam tu kita dah dapat jawapan, but later when I check, then you can check your marks lah. Saya belum tanda lagi, belum tengok lagi apa benda you all jawab kat situ. And also I will discuss your group assignment question next week juga. Saya belum upload lagi juga, so I just finish compiling the question for your group assignment. Next week lah, next week class saya akan share the question. And you have until week tomorrow, next week 4 kan. You have until week 8 untuk hantar the first draft for your group assignment tu. Kita ada satu group assignment je. Lain would be quizzes and also exams lah. Okay. Any other questions? Tak ada? Alright, so if you have no question, I think that's all for today. Macam biasa, saya tak ambil masa lebih dari 1 jam setengah kadang-kadang pelajar when we discuss question lah biasanya. Alright, so if you have no more question, thank you very much. I will see you next week.
Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Prof.
Yeah.
Soalan kan Prof ada bagi tutorial question pasal resident status, boleh tak Prof share jawapan?
Oh, okay, saya upload sekali lah jawapan dia nanti.
Okay, thank you Prof.
Alright, saya lupa lah yang tu. Thank you, ingatkan. Yeah, I have the answer. Yang hari tu saya bagi 4 soalan tu kan, 2 dah ada jawapan kan, 2 lagi belum kan? Okay. All right, thank you very much. See you next week.